Howdy and welcome back. Today we got a cool video. We're not going to be working on just one pair of Tecovas. We're going to be working on 3 pairs, getting them resold. I believe these are the Earls. I think these are the Bourbon, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. But you can see he wore a hole straight through his soles. Going to need some new heels. So I'm going to get some new soles on those. Next one's going to be, I think, the Jasper, if I'm not mistaken. It's a smooth ostrich skin. This one's not too bad, but I guess they're both not too bad, but they're pretty thin. So we're just gonna go ahead and replace those. And the last pair is going to be, I believe these are the Nolans and a Relic Lizard. I think this was a limited time run or something. I couldn't find it on their website, but that's a beautiful boot. So we're going to be doing new soles, new heels, clean condition, get these boots back up and running again. All right, so I'm not going to show all 3 pairs getting fixed at the same time and being put together at the same time. We're mainly just going to focus on these. And we're not going to be replacing them with leather soles. The customer had requested the Vibram 430s in brown. Like a mini lug, but still kind of maintains that thin profile from the side while it gives some traction. I know this isn't the most popular sole for a cowboy boot, but it's what the customer wanted. So that's what we're going to give to them. We're just start by taking off these soles real quick. Soles and the heels. The leather heel bases. All right, there's that worn out sole. We got on that cork that needs to be replaced. We'll go ahead and just replace that. We'll scrape it out and replace that. Then we gotta take all these threads out that was holding the old sole on. You don't want to leave those in, because then you could, if you go to stitch over it, you could damage the welts, and then the welt will start separating from the boot. And then the only way to fix that is obviously to replace the welts, re-stitch some new ones on, and then at that point you just wasted money on a pair of soles, because the soles have to be replaced as well. So you can do it right the first time. That way this customer can continue to wear his boots for a really long time. So we got the boots ready. We're just gluing down that waist section. Sometimes it comes unglued. I'm gonna place that cork there in the front. And this is that heel rand, which is, let's see, this piece right here. See that black piece? So that goes in the back here. And I typically leave it on there, but it was really dirty. I don't know if you guys can tell on the inside. You see all the dust? So I took it off, I cleaned it up, and now we're just gonna go ahead and put that back. This is just put on by a couple of nails. So that's exactly how we're gonna put it back. Well, actually, it was a couple of staples that Tecovas used. I just want to make sure it's back in the right position, because I don't want the heel to change the shape, like the heel block. I don't want it closer or further away. So it looks like it's fine. I did draw some some lines on the underneath the sole, on the bottom of the shoe. I'll show you guys right now. That tells me where the edge was. See the blue marks? That tells me where those pieces were off. I put that on before we took it off. Then we could take the heel block, if I could hold it, put it on there, make sure it's nice and centered. Looks like it is. Great. I'm gonna sand this flush, and then we'll be ready to put and glue the sole on. So, ready for soles to go on. Second pair. Now we're gonna try our best to get this centered onto the shoe, because we don't want that lug pattern off to the right or the left, or the top. So it just takes a little bit of practice to be able to get it centered properly. Sometimes, if it's really difficult, you could take the old sole, place it on the shoe or the sole, and trace it out and cut it, and that'll give you the centered pattern, I guess. But with enough practice, I could get it centered pretty well. So I'm gonna press the edges and we'll trim it. Alrighty, moment of truth. See if I got it centered properly. I'm just gonna trim it up. Alrighty, there we go. I'd say that's pretty centered. Not too bad. Next is going to be a trim it with the sander, groove the soles for the stitching, stitch the soles, nail the back, put the heel base on, and then getting these clean, conditioned, and ready to go. Alright, so I'm not going to show you, like I said, every single step of every single boot, because it's the same process for every single boot, but I just want to show you guys. Once you start wearing into this like that, you need to get it repaired. You need to get them before it gets like this. This customer brought it in just in time, where we could still reuse the welds because he didn't walk into the stitching. But take a look at your soles. If you don't have a cobbler near you, there's plenty of cobblers that take mail-in repairs, including me, and other really great cobblers that'll put new soles on there, and that way you could wear these boots for a really long time, get many soles out of them, because these aren't cheap boots that continue to buy every single time you wear out the soles and the heels. And then you could also get them customized as far as what soles work best for you, like this customer chose to do, getting the 430 soles on there. So just keep an eye out on your soles every now and then, just to make sure you're not wearing them out too far and have to spend more money to get them fixed than you have to. Okay, so I want to show you a little detail that I don't know if people notice, but as a cobbler I like to pay attention to. So the welt starts right here. The welt is that top piece of leather that the soles get stitched to. The welt is stitched to the boot, and then the soles get stitched to the welt. That way it's all nice and secure. Then you have your heel rand, which is that piece that I showed you that we cleaned off earlier. That stops right there. So you got the welt stopping right there and the heel rand stopping right there. So you have this little section called the waist that's nailed to the footbed, and you have this little piece right here. A lot of times manufacturers will actually round this section over. Let me show you. I've already done it to this pair. So I don't know if you can tell the difference. That's flat and that's round, and then it goes back into the flat. And we use a round trimmer blade. You see the difference between this one and this one? It's just a small detail, but it plays a big role in the look. This is our trimmer blade. This is our carbide one that's adjustable. That one's flat. Then we have all these up here at different sizes. Let me see if I can find you a round one. So you see that one has a little curve to it, whereas this one is flat. So we have this in here. It's the round one. It's a larger one. This is the smaller one. So we have this larger one. And then when we turn it on, it spins. And then we just trim it and round it off. And then it makes it, it's kind of a little rough after that. So we take it to our numb keg. And then we finish that off. I hope that makes sense. You can see it's nice and cleaned up. Gives a nice waist look. And then once we buff it and clean it, it'll look a lot better. It's a small detail, but one that plays a big part in how it looks. Okay, so we got the soles trimmed, ready for stitching. I put this tape here because this skin is super susceptible, whatever. It stains easily, and sometimes oils and thread lube will get on there and stain the skin, and I don't want to have to worry about cleaning it. So we put that little piece there just to help protect it. I grooved the soles a little bit. Technically, these don't need to be grooved because that lug pattern sticks out a little bit. But I just like to do that for a little extra insurance. And at the toes, it's hard to tell. I did it just a little bit from right there. And then at the toes, I went deeper. And then I went back and just did a little bit. That way, when you're walking and if you drag your toes, you don't break the stitching at the toes here, because I would hate for me to stitch it. It'd be countersunk a little bit. And then as the customer is walking, he breaks the stitching at the front because it's not deep enough. And then the toes start to peel off. So another small little detail that I like to do, just for an extra, like I said, insurance. And yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get these stitched with my Landis outsole machine. All right, brown thread on the welt, just like it was originally. And then we did a white stitch on the bottom, like I said, it's hard to tell that the front is deeper, the stitching as far as the sides, but nice and countersunk. The front's not gonna wear out prematurely, and the soles are gonna hold on for a super long time. Alright, so we are now working on nailing the shank area just like it was before. Previously, they were using wood pegs and brass tacks. I'm using just the brass tacks because wood pegs won't work for holding rubber down. So we're gonna use a rubber brass tack. Okay, after we go ahead and nail the back, nail the shank area, we're ready to reattach the heel bases. That leather heel base. Just like that. I'm gonna go ahead and actually have the other one glued up and ready to go. So we'll go ahead and stick that one right now. Put this over here. Alrighty. This one is I nailed earlier. So now we just gotta line up the heel base. Make sure that it's nice and straight, level to the boot. Alright, now we're going to go on to the heel, the top lift, which we're going to be using these Vibram cowboy heels. Which these ones technically don't need any glue on it to hold it, because they have, in those little holes that you see, they have, what's it called? They have washers, so that when we nail them down, it kind of holds it tight there. But I like to put glue there just to, like I said, extra insurance. And then when I nail it down, I'll nail it down wet, so that once it dries, the glue, it'll dry attached to the boots. These are threaded nails, or some people call them ring shank nails. They've got little, I guess, threads on them that once they go in, they are a pain in the butt to remove. So we'll go ahead and do that. And then we got to countersink them. Alright, then what we'll do, now that we have that on there, we're going to take the same nails and we're going to nail it from the inside of the shoe, going down there, holding the heel base secure to the boot itself. And then after that, we'll do a final trim, clean, condition, polish, and these will be ready to go and ready for its new life. All right, so we got it trimmed. We got the edge dressing on there. I still got to put some conditioners on there, and it'll darken up that edge finish to make it look like it was originally. But we're gonna take care of the uppers right now using some Angelus Exotic leather cleaner and conditioner. And it comes in this little spray bottle. And I'm just about out, but there we go. All you gotta do, saturate the boots. And then you can rub your hands. You can scrub it with your hands. You can put a little sponge on there. For this boot, I'm just gonna use a little horsehair brush. I like to do it 2 times, just to really let that skin moisturize and absorb everything. You only need to do this on the actual snake skin, exotic skin. You can see it's sudsing up a lot, and that's kind of what you want. Clean it. For the shaft, I'll go ahead and do the shaft as well, but I'm gonna use a different conditioner for that. You can see it's still sudsy, and it's gonna get dark just because it's wet, but once you let it dry, it'll go back to its normal color, and then you can go ahead and buff and clean, do the final clean off. Okay, I want to show you guys something here before we show you the final product. If you're here on my main page of my YouTube channel, you see on my videos, if you come over here to store, here you'll see that Angelus Exotic leather cleaner that I just used, if you want to order yourself some of that. And then all my other sole options as far as repairs, if you want to get new soles on your boots. Let's say you want to do some JR soles on your cowboy boots. This is the ultimate cowboy boot repair package. This one comes with JR soles. If you wanted to add midsoles, you can. If you didn't, no problem. And this is a little bit the more pictures of ones that I've gotten the JR soles, the JR graffiti sole, a little bit of what the JR sole is for, the difference between a double and single stitch, how it works, and all the other questions. And let's say you wanted to go get your cowboy boots fixed. These are all the different cowboy boot soles we offer right now. And then you go back, if you have a pair of dress shoes, you click the dress shoes section. And then the same thing with boots. These are all the different soles we offer for different various boots. And the last one, I only have one so far, it's for ladies' shoes. The Christian Louis Vuitton Caselli mirror soles. So if you have a pair, or you have a wife or a girlfriend who has a pair of these and they look like this, you want them to look like this is what you gotta do. Click on here, place your order, and send them on in. And then a whole bunch of other cool things. Starter kits, you can see in my wife's creations as far as her embroidery, laser engraving, customized boots, and all the other stuff that you need. So if you're on the main page, go to the store, and all that information is there. Alrighty, we're all set and good to go with these 3 pairs of cowboy boots. Start off with the one that we focused on mainly, which is the Relics, the Nolan, I think, with the Relic Lizard. Oh, it's kind of hard to tell, but remember that rounded little transition from the heel to the welt. Small details, but I like details. It just transitions nice and smoothly. Gives that a nice look. Now I know this isn't your conventional traditional sole that goes on cowboy boots, the 430s. But this is what the customer wanted, so the customer got exactly what he wanted. Brown 430 soles. We did Vibram cowboy heels. Vibram doesn't make a brown 430 heel to match. They make a black one. But as you can see on these double H boots that we did the black 430s on, we did the matching heels. But if you look, the heel is a lot thicker than the cowboy one, so it wouldn't really work out. We would have to cut into that leather heel base to be able to do that. But we want to keep it the same height, same looking as far as the heel bases go. Just go quickly. I ran out of Vibram cowboy heels in this right size, so I had to use a different brand. Still gonna work out perfectly fine, just ran out of the Vibram. And these are all for one customer, so I want to get them all done at the same time and have them pick them up all together at the same time. So here we are. So well, thank you guys for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to text or call me. I'll put my business phone down in the description below. You can also email me your questions. If you want to check out all our sole options, go to my YouTube store, which will take you straight to my website. You can see all the different soles we offer, prices, and all that wonderful stuff. So thank you guys for watching. I greatly appreciate it. Until next time, God bless y'all.